Hello, class. For our second discussion, I will be comparing and contrasting the work of Common Sense by Thomas Paine with the Declaration of Independence drafted mainly by Thomas Jefferson. In Common Sense, one of the main points that Thomas Paine attempts to make in regards to the struggle between the British and the American colonists is the idea of how the monarchy goes against the very laws of nature, because all men, according to him, all individuals are originally equal, and that the idea of a king goes against this because he rules over everyone else, and that even if that original king were to earn that spot and become worthy of ruling over a large group of people, the later generations of his family line would often not be. To Thomas Paine, government itself was a necessary evil, even at its best, and in time would often result in the government strengthening itself for the sake of itself, against the sake of its people, unless it was closely monitored and constantly checked by the people. As a matter of fact, John Hersey, writing on Common Sense, discusses how Thomas Paine did his best not to just in writing, but also in when he tried to publish Common Sense, to make the American colonists push away from Great Britain and make them realize that there was no reconciling with Great Britain, that they must revolt. To Thomas Paine, the true strength of a government lay in the happiness of those that it governed. It must fill the needs of those that it governed and make them live a good life. The limited rights and abilities to Thomas Paine, he also discussed how the British government, failed as a government. It failed in. He criticized the power of the king, how he held too much power, the limited rights and abilities of the commons in being able to check the king and being able to pass laws for the common people. And he also criticized the effectiveness of the British Constitution. The Declaration of the American Independence has several parallels to Common Sense, one of the main ones being that all men are created equal. This is seen in both of these documents. In the American Declaration of Independence, Thomas Jefferson discusses how the British Crown and government failed in the ruling of the American colonies properly, and this is why it is due to this failure that Thomas Jefferson and the rest of the founding fathers are leading the movement of independence, and it gives them the right, in his words, to fight for independence. Wendell Brown states in his work on the American Declaration of Independence that it is already quite clear by the time the Declaration of Independence is written that America is declaring independence, but it is important that the Declaration of Independence is written because it gives a list of the ways in which Great Britain failed to govern properly the colonies, and that gives them the moral right to revolt. In the Declaration of Independence, some of these ways that it says the British government failed was from overturning local governments and their decrees, removing local governments that were put in place, removing local colonists' ability to engage in free trade, overtaxing them without giving them any representation in the British government, and stationing British troops in American colonies during peacetime, as well as several other main ways. That is all.